So it got held up.
What's up, folks? This is your man D-Lo G. We've got a special edition of the Heavy Hitters Radio Show tonight. We've got my man Fron Neal in the house. We're going to be talking about finances, home ownership. You know, we got some good information, some good fruit we want to give to people. So I think we're going to have a great time on this Friday night down in Sticks Lounge. And I am not by myself. We have the one, the only, Ron EMC. What's happening, Ron?
Hey, it's not nearly as fun when just one person says my name. That's okay. I still appreciate it, but it's not as fun.
All right.
I have to be honest.
We have the one and only Ron EMC, everyone.
Even worse.
That was the goal. Yeah, so we've got a good night. We've, of course, got Moose, a.k.a. Big House, Jeezy, who we hope are on the way at some point. But in the meantime, in between time, we're going to talk to Fron. You hear some great sounds by the band Just Two. So it's going to be a good night, but we definitely want to get some good information out there. Ron, you have anything before we talk to Fron?
We are located at 361 Indiana. So come out and enjoy time with Heavy Hitters. We've got some drink specials tonight named after your one and onlys. So we've got the Rundown, the Angry Moose, and Jeezy Juice, and we're working on D-Lo's. We're not there yet.
Hey, well, since you're here, tell us about the Rundown real quick.
So the Rundown, I'm on number 2. It's this delightful shade of lavender, and it is berries with berry Ciroc and blueberry pucker, as well as some other delicious juices. So if you want like a fruity drink, mine's the way to go. If you want something kind of middle of the road, probably Jeezy Juice. If you are trying to have a serious time tonight, then go with the Angry Moose. And if you come down, I'll tell you what's in all of them. I'm not telling you on the air.
Yeah, you know what? I want to be a sophisticated drinker, so hopefully I'll kind of learn what drink I'm supposed to have, because my man Fron has something here, and I feel a lot less masculine because
with your pineapple margarita.
With my pineapple margarita, but it's tasty.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is. Pineapple is delicious.
I'm not a drinker, but we're going to work on that.
It's just not a manly drink. That's all.
Why didn't you tell me that before I ordered?
I did, but you already fell in love with it.
All right. Well, folks, I'm on my second or third pineapple margarita now, so I'm already too far into the game. But anyway, getting back to subject, I want to definitely welcome my man, Fron Neal.
What's up? How you doing, everybody?
Man, Fron, we appreciate you coming out and talking to us tonight, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You know, Fron and I go way back, and Fron is a very well-spoken, well-educated cat. You know, I'm certainly glad that he's gotten into this field. It's one that strongly interests me, so to be able to talk to an old friend and be able to get some good nuggets out there, man, I am very excited. So getting kind of right into things, Fron, I know you work for TCU, and
yes, sir.
You know, you kind of work on the mortgage side of things. So, Fron, I know there are a lot of people that have a lot of questions about home ownership. It seems to be almost kind of an overwhelming thought, if you will. It's a scary process for most people.
Sure.
For our listeners, Fron, kind of give us an idea as far as what we should be doing, the value in this, and anything else you can bless our listeners with.
Hey, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. One of the things that I would first like to share is, you know, a lot of the change as far as starts first with your mind. It's not that hard. One story that I like to bring up is the fact that on the eve of being, if it was one day extra over, it might have been the first Friday. So, you know, just to kind of give you an idea, I used to party 6 days a week, you know, twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
Classified. Anyway, what I would say is, you know, I found out for the amount of money that I was spending in there, that I was spending over that weekend was almost 26% of what it is that my take-home was for 2 weeks.
Wow, that's humbling.
So with that, well, I mean, it is what it is. But, I mean, you know, at that point in time, nothing was in my mind as far as, like, saving and doing. So the first thing I would say is, if you're deciding to go and go after a house, first you have to have some assets that are easy liquidable and ready available.
Okay. Now, when you say easy liquidable, kind of give us an idea as far as what you mean for those that might not quite understand.
Let's talk about CDs, access to your 401ks, seeing your leniency in your 401ks, whether you can actually do a down payment or help out with closing costs as far as, taking a loan against your 401k. But ultimately, what I really want to do is just say, hey, let's start having the money available readily, and it's just by changing your mindsets. With the amount, just say hypothetically, you bring home $1,000 every 2 weeks. Okay. Of course, 25% of that is $250. I would spend that in a weekend just, hanging out, clubbing, drinking, going out, so forth. So with that, at the end of the day, I was making the money, but I wasn't necessarily getting what it is. I wasn't necessarily getting the satisfaction of actually saving money and preparing for my future.
Sure.
With that being said, I just decided to change my mindset. I mean, I'm good with you. I had good friends. I was blessed with great friends like yourself. And it was one of those situations where I didn't have to go out all the time. So with the same amount of money that I calculated, I would take that money off the top and put it away. Okay? So that was the first thing.
That's smart.
And with that, what I found out, with the amount of money that I was doing at 25% of my income, I was able to save about $3,200 by the end of the year. Okay. That $3,200 can be 3% down as a down payment on a $100,000 house.
See, and I think most people kind of spend money without thinking of those options and possibilities. So what was the big shift for you as far as changing your mindset? What kind of flipped that switch for you?
What flipped that switch was simple. It was real simple. At that point in time, I then became a family man. I then became, a married man. And the place where I was living, I would be honest, I would say that, I had no problems living there. But for everybody else, it was a bit of a struggle. So with that being said, I had to go and provide for my family. With that being said, I went ahead and saved. I began to save more than anything, because at the end of the day, I wanted my son to be raised in a great environment. Actually have an opportunity to go to a good school system, be able to ride and play without having people running stop signs and flying through at 60 miles an hour, and all other kinds of environments that that we both know. That can be out here in central Indianapolis.
So let me ask this specifically, Fron, because that's kind of the goal for a lot of people, and people in our community
Sure.
want the exact same things, but far too often what we end up doing is going and just renting a nicer apartment in a nicer area, as opposed to considering home ownership. So what's kind of that thing that people need to think away from in terms of renting in order to kind of move towards home ownership without feeling overwhelmed about the process of actually trying to obtain a home, as opposed to just packing up and moving into another zip code?
Well, one thing that you have to realize is that your money is power. Okay, your money has weight, and your money, whatever it is that you spend it on, whether it be rent, lights, what have you, it is to a point where your money is powerful. So it all depends on where you utilize it. Okay, what I know is I would actually take the time to save. When you have a motivation and you realize that your money is power, and regardless of however much it is, it's powerful. Whether it's $5 or $50 or $500 or $5,000, it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's your money. You work hard for it. You can do whatever it is that you want to. Why don't you do it to make yourself better, as opposed to making somebody else profit?
Yeah. which makes a lot of sense. But some people don't understand how home ownership makes them better. What can you kind of speak into their minds that would help them understand that this is really the way you want to go? What's kind of that thing that would change people's minds and start shifting their focus, like, this is the way you want to go? What is that empowerment you talk about that comes with home ownership?
You know, your name also has power. What I mean by that is your name has more power on a title as in opposed to a lease.
I thought they were going to
Because with a lease, there's somebody that actually has that title and can tell you wherever it is that you can go. Case in point, I had moved into a house and stayed there for a double and stayed there for about 2 months and was only had to be removed due to the fact that there was a situation that happened that didn't even affect us. But it was his title on the house.
Right.
Okay. So my name was on the lease, but his name was on the title. Why don't you just go ahead and, bypass the whole lease idea and get your own title so you can call your own shots?
Right.
You will still be responsible for paying, for paying your mortgage, but at that point in time, it gives you a lot more freedom. For example, most people here in Indiana get paid every 2 weeks.
Sure.
Sometimes you have more month than money, if you will.
Yeah.
There's more exceptions in the event to help you be successful in keeping that house as opposed to keeping a lease.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so with that being said, what I would do is focus on getting the actual title as opposed to renting someplace that's nicer in a nicer area, because it's not yours. When I bought my house is mine. And even though there may be more month than money, it's still mine and listed as mine. And I can make arrangements to go and do things as opposed to renting a house where you have to have it on the 5th of the month.
Right. So as people are kind of shifting their focus and moving towards this, what are kind of some of those things that they need to prepare for in order to be ready to move into to home ownership or pursuing a mortgage?
I'm glad you said that. So there's 4 things that I would say that you would actually be prepared, that you need to be prepared for in the event. The first thing is, what's affordable? And what I mean by that, where are you paying your rent? And how much is it that you're paying for rent? Okay, is it comfortable to you to pay that rent each and every month? Because that's a real sure telltale sign that you can be able to afford a mortgage. Simple math: for every $100,000 that you pay, for every $100,000 that you in buying the house, there's about a $625 per month mortgage that's associated with it, give or take. Give or take your credit score, give or take your assets, give or take the amount that you put down on a loan. Also, does the payment match up with your monthly expenses? Okay. Are you comfortable there? Okay. Let me ask you this. And the third, another thing that I would say is, have you thought about the utilities that's associated with the house? Utilities in a home, utilities in an apartment are 2 different animals. Most of these apartment complexes have deals worked out with some utility, with a bunch of utilities, where there's a certain amount that they can kind of subsidize,
right?
And pay on a monthly basis to keep everybody happy. However, in a house it's a totally different game. Instead of you paying $71 a month for IPL, you pay $171 for IPL.
With that, let me ask you this. So
Sure.
Now, if people have to consider that, is there a fairly simple way to be able to find out an estimate in terms of what the utilities may be. If they've been used to paying rent, is there a way before they go through the buying process to get an idea, an estimate as far as what those utilities might look like?
Yes, sir, it is. One good website I like to use is bizrate.com. There they have a mortgage calculator to kind of give you an idea of what it is that you can spend, how much it is that you can afford. If you don't have internet, because we do have older people that have not, that don't really trust the internet, if you will, and I'm happy to work with them. They can give me a call there at TCU, and I can kind of figure out a plan for them, which is going to be a little bit more accurate. But I mean, for those people that are technologically inept, or the technologically advanced, they can actually go to bizrate.com.
Okay. And while I have just a moment, then I'm glad you actually mentioned that. Hey, folks, you're listening to the Heavy Hitters Radio Show on Independent Radio. I'm talking to my man Fron Neal.
What's up?
And Fron, how can people get a hold of you while we have an opportunity?
Well, right now at this point in time, I'm available. You can give me a call here in my office. My phone number is 317-572-2326. Okay, and my extension number is 3438. I am more than glad to help you in any shape, form, or fashion. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. The numbers never lie. Okay, and I do not fudge the numbers because I like my license and I like helping people. So with that being said, just give me a call. I'll be more than glad to go and kind of run a scenario for you and help you out.
That's awesome. Ron, I know we've got just two that's about to come on, man.
Absolutely.
But certainly want to give you the opportunity to share any other information you want to regarding this. And given your time, if we have the opportunity, we can always jump back on.
Sure.
And we can talk some more. But certainly before we close down right now,
sure.
Definitely any other information that you think is vital for people to know regarding the process or moving towards this process?
Well, yeah, because another thing besides of having money, saving money, knowing how to save money, and then also knowing your benefits and your powers in credit, dealing with your credit report. What I would like to do is more of a visual thing, but kind of walk through and show you what a credit report from a banking institution would look like and what it is that they expect. So that may be a later date, no problems, no worries, but I'll be more than glad to sit down and walk you through that to tell you what you owe and what it is that they look for.
Man, that's awesome. Ron, we can't thank you enough for sharing that good information with us.
Sure thing.
So, folks, we will absolutely be rotating this on independent radio for the next however long until we can get Fron back again. So there's lots of opportunities for you out there. We want to see you in the best position to move forward. I think Jay-Z on the 444 album said it best. Financial freedom is the only way. So we've got to be able to move towards that. And with people such as Fron, very professional, very integral, he's certainly someone who can help you reach those goals. So continue to build with us. Make sure you get it, Fron. You can reach him on his business number, 317-572-2326. Extension 3438.
That's right.
And get pointed in the right direction. So we're pleased to be able to bring you good information.
In addition, I will tell you this. If there's a situation right now, we work off of banking hours. So if you need additional assistance where, Saturday is the only time that you can talk to me, you can give me a call at 317-426-7107.
What's that number again, Fron?
317-426-7107.
Okay.
And I will be able to answer my phone and help you out.
Man, that's awesome. I mean, not only is he a resource, but he's an available resource. So, this is a good dude here, and he's very touchable. He's very relatable. So we just encourage you to move forward, ask the questions. It doesn't have to be an intimidating process. And if it feels intimidating, certainly we've got someone here to work with you who can really get you pointed in the right direction to your own self-empowerment. Hey, folks, this is D-Lo G. You're listening to the Heavy Hitters Radio Show on Independent Radio. We are down at Sticks Lounge. Ron, what's the address?
Yes, 361 Indiana.
Thank you. And my man AGZ is in the house.
I ain't even doing the show, man. What's up, man?
What's happening, man? Well, we're glad you showed up, man. So we're going to listen to Just Two, folks. We thank you for tuning in. If we get the opportunity, we're going to jump back on. There are a lot more questions we can ask Fron. And we just thank you for coming out, talking to us, talking to our listeners. And we certainly hope that this is helpful to a lot of people. Hey, folks, we are where you are.
Get comfortable.
And come on in.
Yeah, man.
Out.